do you have any tips on how to manage your time doing all of that while also being a student? Because I think that's one of the challenges I had, and that's one of the challenges I noticed in my classmates. And they're like, I'm just so busy, and I just don't have time to work on my resume. Especially when you're first starting out, when you make your first resume, it's just so much work at the beginning, just because it's your first time doing it. So, do you have any tips on just how to manage your time with doing that, but also focusing on school and still getting those good grades?
Yeah, it's definitely challenging because I always say like applying to a job or internship is a full-time job on its own. With the amount of thought and time you have to put into your application materials. So it is challenging. However, writing a resume, building a cover letter, those things, we can't escape them. They're always going to happen because after you're a student, you're going to be applying to full-time jobs and potentially switching jobs after a few years and, advancing in your career. So the sooner you start developing that skill set, the better. So my tip is to set aside time in your schedule that is dedicated to that. So maybe it's a perspective shift. Maybe it's not thinking of it as, oh, it's just this additional thing I got to do just to like submit this application. Maybe shifting your perspective to this is actually part of my development as a student and as a professional. So just as important it is for you to get your academics and get your homework done and prepare for that test, it's just as important to build these skill sets. So if shifting that perspective is going to help you embed it into your schedule, then I think that's the way to go. And it does get easier, like you said. It gets easier once you develop that skill set. But in the beginning, it's harder. So, of course, talk to a career counselor, go to your career center at your institution. They can give you some of those steps, maybe walk you through step by step how to do it, just to make the process a little bit easier. But I think it's a perspective shift at the most.